really gonna freaking kill me. I saw this guy yesterday going over the speed bumps kind of like sideways. I'm gonna give that a shot, see if it lessens the whatever on my suspension. He kind of did this number and then this. Hey, okay, that was cool. Barely felt it. I'm gonna try that again. Nice, you can barely feel it. That's great. Alright, well, props to that dude, whoever he was. Alright, so I have been in the motorcycle. Damn it, I forgot to do it. I've been in the motorcycle life, I guess, motorcycle game, for what, going on 6 months now. And whenever somebody finds out I ride a motorcycle, whether they're riders themselves or not, one of the first things that they ask me is, what style of bike are you into? Or what style of bike are you riding? That's the key word, style. And they don't mean, is it a Harley, is it a Honda, what is it? They mean, is it a cruiser, is it a sports bike, is it a dirt bike, adventure touring bike, whatever. That's what they mean. And I think the reason for that, hang on here. I hate this turn. Do I fucking hate this turn? This turn right here is so damn blind, it's damn near impossible. Anyway, so alright, anyway, I think they asked this question for two reasons. One is to, I guess, kind of show you or let you know that they have some knowledge of motorcycles. And second is because I think at least when it comes to like the top three styles, which I guess would be sports bikes, cruisers, and dirt bikes, throw adventure touring bikes as well. Whatever bike you ride, it kind of determines your style of riding, what style of riding you do. So the type of bike you ride determines the style of riding you do. So I thought I would come on here and answer this question for me. So I've come up with my top 6 motorcycle styles. Let me preface it by saying this list is highly, highly subjective. My top styles are not going to be your top styles. They're not going to be anybody's top styles. And somebody might like something better, whatever, I don't care. So, without further ado, let's start off with number 6. My number 6 favorite. Hang on. I also want to say I love all bikes. Like, there's not one type of bike that I just despise that I would say, no, I would never own that. That does not exist for me. I have yet to see a motorcycle that I'd say, yeah, I wouldn't drive that. Where was I? Number 6. My number 6 style of motorcycle is going to be the muscle bike. Muscle bikes are like essentially cruisers on steroids. They have fat pipes, fat tires. Muscle bikes just look fat, beefy, muscular. You know, immediately the Harley V-Rod comes to mind, the Yamaha V-Max, Ducati Diavol. Yeah, I mean, those bikes are pretty damn badass, and I would love to own one or either one of those. Number 5 would be the rat bike. Yes, I said the rat bike. And if you don't know what a rat bike is, it's essentially that old Ford Ranger that's been sitting in your uncle's barn for 5 decades, that nobody's ever worked on, nobody's ever washed. Oh shit. And it just looks like it should be a zombie car. Well, this looks like a zombie bike. It literally looks like it should be Daryl's bike from the Walking Dead. It's beat up. I mean, I've never ridden one, so I'm assuming internally most of them are sound. But it looks like this thing's gonna break down any minute. Usually they're cruiser styles, maybe a bobber, but anyway, the bike really looks beat up, scratched, dinged, dirty, muddy, grimy, and I gotta say, they look badass. Number 4 for me are cafe racers. And I don't know what it is. They look very simplistic and they look very old school. But cafe racers have this nostalgic little, I don't even know what to call them. The little flat seat. Fucking bumps on this road. The little flat seat, it just looks cool, and you know, it looks like a city. It looks like something you take around from coffee shop to coffee shop with a thing. You know, it's probably where the name comes from. So yeah, cafe racers, I love them, especially Triumphs. They call it Triumph has some really nice cafe racers. Honda's got some nice ones. I wish Harley would come out with a cafe racer. That would be interesting. That would be fun to watch. For number 3, we have sports bikes. I should preface this by saying I haven't ridden a sports bike yet. I do plan on it, and you know, it's not my preferred style, but they look very, very, very appealing. I think if your only sole reason for getting a motorcycle was to pick up girls, I think you're going to do way better on a sports bike than any other kind of bike. But sports bikes, see, I'm all about safe riding and fun riding. But I'm not down with those guys that are like freaking going 95, 100 miles an hour, racing each other down a highway when it's almost rush hour traffic. You see those videos on YouTube all the time. It looks cool, sure, but it's freaking stupid. There's a very fine line between cool and stupidity. Don't cross that line. I mean, we all love motorcycles, but nobody wants to see you die on one. Having said that, I do want to ride a sports bike one day. They look incredibly fun. Once I get familiar with one, I would love to take one to the track and just let it rip. And, you know, I just started with my number 2 style of bike, which is a cruiser. A regular, good old cruiser. I'm thinking Harley Softails. I'm thinking my Honda Shadow. Yeah, even the Harley Sportsters. Suzuki makes some nice cruisers. Triumph, obviously. Hell, even Ducati's got a cruiser or two out there. They don't look like Harleys, but they're cruisers. And they are my favorite, or my second favorite, because of exactly what I said at the beginning. My style of riding fits it perfectly. You know, it's classic. I think it's American. As cheesy as it is to say that, I love the look, the feel, and the way a cruiser rides. It's just, I don't know. I almost don't know how to describe it. I love the aesthetics of them. Some of them can have a little too much chrome. And if I hadn't bought this bike with already so much chrome to it, I would have blacked it out. I love the look of black with a little bit of chrome. But yeah, anyway, the colors are almost irrelevant. The bikes are pretty badass. Some that really, 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 really. So yeah, the aesthetics of those bikes are really awesome. Some of the ones I love the most are, I love my Honda Shadow. I love Harley Fat Bobs, or the new ones are freaking incredible. The Harley-Davidson Breakout is a gorgeous looking bike. What else? The Sportster 883 is a really nice looking little bike, smaller bike. The Breakout, the Lowrider. One of my top bikes of all time has got to be the Harley, the 2017, I think it was 2017, 2018. It was a 2-year run for that bike. It was either 16 or 17 or 17 and 18. But I'm going to say the 2017 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. That thing, to me, was like one of the very few bikes that are perfect straight from the factory. That thing was gorgeous. Alright, so number one. The number one style of bike in my book is going to be the bobber. And I'm not talking about the bobbers that come from the fact, like, okay, no hate on Indian, no shade on Indian, but the Indian Scout bobber is not a bobber. It's a cruiser. You know, a bobber is supposed to be stripped down to the max, no bells and whistles. Usually it'll have a Springer seat, a tiny front fender, if a front fender at all, barely a rear fender, and you know, it's not gonna very little chrome, very little shiny stuff. It's as simple as a bike can get. And I love the look of it. It looks amazing. I haven't ridden one yet, obviously, because I'm new at this. I don't have that many motorcycle friends yet. But, yeah, the bobber is going to be my number one. I just think they look too damn cool. Now, why do I ride a cruiser and not a bobber? Or would I turn this into a bobber? I thought about it, but the answer right now is no. One, this is my first bike and I don't want to pour thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into it. Second, there are some conveniences that you give up with bobbers. For example, you can't have a 2-up seat with a bobber. I've never seen it anyway. I guess you could, but you know, the front fender's so short that it'd be hard to get it on there. But with that, you can't put saddlebags on it. I've put saddlebags on my Shadow. I find them extremely useful. I guess you could put a swing arm bag on it. But hey, anyway. Yeah, I like cruisers. I do think bobbers look amazingly better. And once I get my next bike, my next upgrade, I would like, and I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I would like to turn it into a bobber. The bobber is, to me, the coolest looking bike out there. So yeah, there you go. That's my top 6 styles of bike that I like and I love. Scramblers are also cool. I've never ridden a dirt bike, but they look fun as all hell. Motocross, and there's a million styles of different bikes out there. But yeah, all right. Let's finish this up, and that's it.